Back pain. If you ever woken up and the first thing you feel is a deep, aching stiffness in your spine, it can shape your whole day. For veterans, it's even more common. One study found that up to 80% of veterans report daily back pain lasting more than a year. And for many, it becomes one of the leading reasons for VA disability claims. But here's the real problem too many are told just to live with it, that they don't have any other options. But I'm here to show you that's not the truth. And I'll prove it by walking through how I helped one of my clients, a 40-year-old veteran, break free from pain he thought would last a lifetime. Stick around because I'm going to bust some myths, show you the exact plan we used, and give you steps you can start using today to get back to living on your own terms. So I'm Dr. Ray Peralta, physical therapist, exercise physiologist, run coach, and Marine veteran. Over the past 10 years, I've helped hundreds of people get rid of pain, rebuild strength, and get back to the activities they love without the boom and bust cycle that keeps so many people stuck. And this isn't just theory. I've lived through this, having back pain myself as a Marine, and I've spent a decade refining the strategies that worked in the real world, especially for those of us who served. By this end of this video, you'll know why back pain keeps coming back for so many veterans, the myths that might be keeping you stuck in pain longer than necessary, the exact step-by-step plan I use it to help my clients get his life back, and how you can start applying these same strategies, even if you've been told it's just age or it's just arthritis. So here's how we're going to do this. Again, we're going to start with the big myths that need to be thrown out. I'm going to share my client's story, what he tried, what didn't work, and what finally made the difference. And I'm going to break down the rehab plan step by step, and I'll give you some quick wins you can do today. And if you're a veteran who's 35 plus, who's tired of back pain, stopping you from living the life you want, I've got a free training that goes deeper into this. Check out the link in the description. So chronic pain is more than just an annoyance. It could be a life changer, right? Driving long distances, sitting through a long workday, even standing on the sidelines at your kid's game can cause that back pain to flare up. And here's what makes it worse. The advice is all over the place. Some say rest until it's gone. Others say just push through the pain. But neither works. Why? Because pain isn't just about what's happening in your muscles or joints. It's about how your whole system is responding. When you've been through the physical and mental stress of service, your nervous system can get stuck in a constant fight or flight mode. This makes your body hypersensitive to pain signals and slows down recovery, stuck in the sympathetic fight or flight or overdrive. So some common myths, right? Let's clear up some of the three big myths that keep veterans trapped in pain. Myth number one, you have to give up your sports or running or lifting for good. Reality, most back pain doesn't require permanent activity restriction. With proper rehab and progressive loading, you could get back to these sports and activities safely. Myth number two, back pain means arthritis or degeneration or wear and tear is the cause. Reality, those changes could show up on x-ray in everyone over a certain age, including people with zero back pain. It's not what you find on the imaging on the x-ray or the MRI is not a guaranteed cause of the pain. Myth number three, spinal manipulation or chiropractic is the best and most effective treatment. Reality, the research shows otherwise. The benefits are often small, short-lived, and create dependence on the provider. The real solution is doing active rehab that makes you independent, doing exercises that you do to self-manage the pain and actually keep it at bay, not relying on someone to manipulate your back or adjust your back, right? You don't want to be dependent on that for the rest of your life. So let's talk about one of my clients. Every morning he'd wake up today hoping that things would be different. But before he could even take his first sip of coffee, he'd feel it. He'd roll out of bed, that back pain, that dull leg and the low back, move wrong, and it would shoot sharp. His doctor told him, this is probably just going to be your new normal. You're going to have to live with this chronic low back pain. And yet, he tried to make it work. He tried not to slow down. He tried to wake up at 5 a.m. every day, wake up, coffee, try to do some type of workout, go to work, get his kids ready for the day, help his wife out. And from the outside, he looked bulletproof. But the inside, he was stuck in a loop, boom-bust cycle of pain. Maybe a week or two where he was able to train, and then boom, pain would flare up, sleep would be messed up, walking around, limping like an old man, hunched over, holding his back. And then, he kept repeating the cycle for months and not making any progress. And in fact, he was actually getting weaker. And one day I asked him, what if fixing your back isn't about pushing harder? What if it's about teaching your body it's safe again? He went silent. No one had ever told him that. He thought pain meant something was broken, that his only options were to grit through or take more painkillers, take more Advil, Tylenol, just popping pills left and right like it was candy. But here's what we did in his 8-week rehab plan. Step one, calm down the nervous system, right? Got him to relax. Just lay flat on his stomach, doing some deep diaphragmatic belly breathing. Relaxing, allowing his body's, the muscles along his back to relax. He was like a spasm. We did breath work, meditation, visualization, gentle foam rolling or lacrosse ball to help self-massage his back muscles, prioritizing sleep, lowering his caffeine intake because he was taking coffee and Monster Energy drinks like he was drinking water throughout the day. I told him, hey, let's lower that caffeine because he's doing too much caffeine. And also managing his stress, right? Take it a breath, do the breath work to help him manage his stress so he wasn't so stressed throughout the day. Step number two, we help him rebuild his body without the flare up, right? We started progressive exercise, progressive calisthenic or progressive strength work, starting with calisthenics or body weight, things like planks, bridges, side planks, then progressing to using bands and then like single leg bridges and squats and other bodyweight movements. And then started adding load as he could tolerate with good form, kettlebells, dumbbells, then barbells, and then mobility drills, right, to open up his spinal mobility, right, lumbar extension, hip extension that helped target his weak links. And then we made sure that he was training for life, not just trying to chase some PR, like, oh, had him shift from, trying to lift the heaviest with the, how many plates on the bar he could load up or how many miles he could run. Instead, shift from always going harder, trying to push his body to the red line, to more recovery centered training, like having built in rest days so he could recover, work on resetting his body, resetting his nervous system. Days we could do some foam rolling, hit up the sauna, do some recovery work. This helped build resilience without overloading his back. And then, doing the mindfulness practices, yoga, meditation has helped him as well. And then fueling for success, right? Plant-based diet, anti-inflammatory diet, where he wasn't causing constant inflammation on his body or carrying extra, weight because he was also a bit overweight. So cutting those habits helped him lose weight and also helped him decrease pain. And also cutting the habits of using, coffee and caffeine energy drinks as a crutch, right? Instead of pounding monsters nonstop. We said, hey, just switch to plain water. If you want electrolyte water, do some sea salt, squeeze a lemon or lime, and help them support recovery from the inside out. So 8 weeks later, he was sitting through his workday without stiffening up, without having to rely on pain pills, without Advil or Tylenol, jogging to the outfield during his son's little league baseball practice, tying his kids' cleats without bracing for pain, being able to pick up his daughter and pick her up and give her a hug without back pain. His progress wasn't just in the gym. It was in being present for his family again, being a better husband, a better father. And if you're stuck in that boom and bust pain cycle, you don't have to stay there. Click the link in the description to get my free training and how veterans can run and train pain-free. And if you want additional help, find me on Instagram and DM me the word reboot, and I'll personally send you the details. So I'm Dr. Ray Peralta. I've been where you are. If you want to break free from back pain, it's not about chasing temporary fixes, looking for chiropractic, manipulation, or massage, or pain pills. It's about building a body that feels safe, strong, and capable again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.